Alright people, so I uploaded this video yesterday. Fun and games as usual on YouTube. Fun and games. This video was a follow-up to a video I recorded the day before. So this was recorded yesterday and uploaded yesterday on the 30th. And it was a follow-on from this video which I recorded the day before on the 29th. Now, I want you to listen to what I said here in this little part of the video. Just listen to what I say here.
I always wondered how he'd cope against somebody tall, slick, with much longer arms than himself. Why? Because Floyd is used to having the longer arms and dominating things at long range using those longer arms. Now, it's not just because he's got longer arms than most of his opponents. No, it's also because he's skillful, he's slick, he's accurate, so on and so forth.
All right, so there you heard it in the video before. Now, in this video, I was responding to people who told me in the comment section to this video and elsewhere online that Floyd has fought lots of guys who have longer arms than himself. So when I did the follow-up video, I proved that a lot of the people who were claiming had much longer arms than Floyd actually didn't. So that's what I was addressing when I was bringing up all the examples. Now, I do have to laugh at the response to this particular video because, I mean, where are we going with this, people? Where are we going with this? If we put Tyson Fury in the ring against Vladimir Klitschko with the same length arms as Manny Pacquiao, imagine that. Tyson Fury with Manny Pacquiao length arms. Is he going to be able to box the exact same way and beat Klitschko with the exact same tactics as we saw him do it? Is that going to work? With Fury with Manny Pacquiao length arms, he's going to be able to box the exact same tactics and beat Klitschko because what? Arm length is totally irrelevant, isn't it? Reach is totally irrelevant. It means nothing. So we can definitely put a Tyson Fury on the ring with Klitschko with Manny Pacquiao length arms, and he's going to be able to box the exact same way. It's not going to make a difference. Reach doesn't mean anything. Arm length doesn't mean anything. Is that what you guys are actually saying here? Is this where we're at? Really? Unbelievable. Anyway, for those who are actually, sensible, and you obviously know that reach is a great asset to have if you know how to use it properly. It's like having a tool, and that's something that Mayweather had. He had this tool, this great reach for his height, and he perfected how to maximize his reach and how to use his reach very effectively. He perfected it. My point is, sometimes when you're so good using a particular tool, as Mayweather is using that reach of his against people around the same kind of height as himself, when that tool that you're so used to, that you rely on so much, is taken away from you, you're then forced to use different tools in order to get to your opponent. And for example, if Mayweather was in there against, let's say, a Tommy Hearns, the normal fight that Mayweather fights at long range, he wouldn't be able to fight that fight against Tommy Hearns because Hearns will be outreaching him and he wouldn't be able to box with Hearns at long range. The normal stuff that Floyd will do at long range is not going to work against a guy like Hearns. He's too rangy. Or even a Demetrius Andrade, etc., etc. A much rangier guy than himself. So he would then be forced to go on the front foot and hunt the guy down. And my point is, from what I saw in the McGregor fight, I don't think Floyd's skills at hunting people down are particularly sophisticated. They look quite crude to me, which is why I've always felt that Mayweather, if anybody is going to beat Mayweather, and I regard Mayweather as an all-time great, if anybody was going to beat Mayweather, it's going to be somebody that has a significant reach advantage on him, who knows how to use the reach. Not just some random person with long arms. No, I'm talking about a guy with longer arms than Floyd who knows how to use them well. Somebody like that, in my view, is a guy who's going to stand a much better chance at beating Mayweather than any of the guys Mayweather's actually been in with. And we've come to the end of Mayweather's career now, so this is when you start weighing up his legacy and how do you think he would have done against some of the greats of the past. And maybe I'll do a separate video about that, like how I think Mayweather would have done against the Fabulous Four, so on and so forth. So some people just didn't get it. Some people are cheerleaders, they're not really serious boxing fans. But this guy here, big up. Anisu, he got it. He said, this video in no way discredits Mayweather's talents. People need to chill. Are you all even serious in these comments? The point of this video is that a bunch of people in his last video said Hatman was wrong. Look at this video, and obviously he's talking about this video. So it is what it is. And that is my point. If you're talking, the people who are cheerleaders who are not really serious boxing fans, they're just cheerleaders of certain fighters, and all fighters have these cheerleaders. They're not really interested in any kind of intellectual discussion. They're not really interested in any kind of objective debate. As far as they're concerned, the fighter that they support, in this case Mayweather, is invincible. It doesn't matter that he hasn't faced anyone anywhere close to a Tommy Hearns. And I'm not having a go at Mayweather for not fighting somebody like a Hearns. All I'm saying to you is, if we're comparing Mayweather against the best in history, and a lot of people are saying he's invincible from 130 to 154, well, I don't believe he is invincible from 130 to 154. That's always been my point with Floyd. Yeah, I think the kind of guys that would have beaten him were guys who had attributes that we didn't see Floyd Mayweather go up against in his career. Floyd Mayweather didn't go up against every single kind of attribute that that has existed between 130 and 154. Tommy Hearns was a freak at 148 pounds and even at 154. 6'1" with a 78-inch reach, a very good long-range boxer, spectacular power in both hands, very good jab. I mean, nobody ever outboxed Tommy Hearns. Aaron Barkley maybe out-hustled him in the rematch. He knocked him out in the first fight. But in terms of anybody outboxing Hearns, unheard of. Roberto Duran, for example. This is another example of how reach is so important if you know how to use your reach well. Tommy Hearns cleaned out Roberto Duran in 2 rounds. Knocked him clean out. Duran couldn't get close to Hearns. The reach differential was too much, and Hearns was hitting him very hard. Now, Hearns got knocked out in 3 rounds by Marvin Hagler. But then you put Duran in the ring with Hagler, the guy who wiped out Hearns, the guy who wiped him out, Duran out. And what? People would be expecting Hagler to wipe Duran out in similar fashion to the way Hearns did. But no. Duran went the distance with Hagler. And he gave Hagler a lot of problems, actually. He gave Hagler far more problems than he gave Tommy Hearns. Because Hagler, much more similar in height and reach to Roberto Duran, so Duran was able to box with him and get to him. And also Hagler not the dynamic puncher. Hagler was a good puncher, but he wasn't as dynamic a puncher as a Tommy Hearns. And again, it's all well and good being in there with a puncher, but if your opponent's arms are too long for you to be able to get your shots on, then you're going to have to switch up your tactics. You're going to have to do something to get close to the guy. Duran couldn't do it against Hearns. He wasn't able to get close to him. And just to finish off, another example of how reach matters. If you use your reach well, it can be an excellent asset for you. And it can neutralize a more skillful opponent if you've got a long reach and you know how to use it correctly. Punching power also helps along with your reach. Vladimir Klitschko, when he fought Eddie Chambers, a prime Eddie Chambers. Chambers had basically beaten all the American heavyweights at the time. Very skillful fighter, could box on the inside, box on the outside. You saw him outbox Sam Peter. He beat, many of the American-based heavyweights by outboxing them. He did well against Povetkin early on as well, Eddie Chambers. But when he fought Vladimir Klitschko, I'm telling you, Eddie Chambers has got a better all-round skill set than Vladimir Klitschko. But Klitschko's overall size, his height, reach, strength, punching, he couldn't get past it. He'd fought other tall guys who were not as good at using their length, height, and reach as Vladimir, like, what's the guy's name now from the Ukraine, who Joseph Parker knocked out? Dimitrenko. He fought Dimitrenko. He did okay against him. He beat Dimitrenko, actually. But Dimitrenko can't use his reach. He's not as effective at using his reach as somebody like a Vladimir Klitschko. Not as well coordinated, etc. So, that was one thing. But when he went up against Klitschko, a guy who really knows how to use that reach of his, he shot Eddie Chambers down. He shot down a guy who really was a more skillful fighter all round than he was. but having that physical advantage was crucial. So again, I don't know what people are trying to say where they're making fun of, Reach even being mentioned. So according to you guys, we might as well put Tyson Fury in the ring with Klitschko with Manny Pacquiao length arms, and he's going to do just as well, isn't he? Because reach doesn't matter. Where are we going with this? Anyway, yeah, I'm going to move on from this now, people. So you get the point. It is what it is. Drop your comments in the comment section below. It's your boy Hatman. I'm out.